Hi there and welcome back. So today we're talking about how we can avoid late night snacking. We know that it can be a real barrier to both weight management and sleep hygiene. Before even considering time-restricted eating like intermittent fasting, start by eating your dinner as early as possible. The reason being, our body is least sensitive to the effects of insulin later in the day, so we may be less effective in using or burning blood sugar in the evening. As melatonin, our sleep hormone, rises, our bodies become less responsive to insulin's instructions or signaling. Here are 3 reasons as to why you may be late night snacking. Firstly, it may just be a habit that you've developed over time, or you may be racing through your meal. My first tip would be to slow down. I often recommend that if you're eating alone, then listen to some music and make sure you sit through at least 3 songs. You should eat your meal over a time period of at least 15 minutes. Stop and put your fork down between bites and make an effort to really chew properly. After dinner, distract yourself. Get up, go for a brief walk, take a hot bath, or even read a good book. Secondly, you may be restricting yourself in the evening or not eating enough. Sometimes we think that we shouldn't be eating and then find ourselves in the fridge or the cookie jar before bedtime. Plan ahead, make a soup or curry so that you've always got something in the freezer, and eat dinner. If you know that you're going to eat something sweet after supper, regardless of what you tell yourself, then plan ahead for it. Remove the super processed and high sugar foods, of course, from the house and stock up on things like darker chocolate or some whole fruit. Consume the chocolate or fruit as close to your main meal as possible to prevent those blood sugar spikes and to maximize your fasting window period. When you've slowly weaned off the sweet stuff, start with a bit of herbal tea and maybe a level teaspoon of honey to curb those cravings. Remember, we're not all made equally, and your genetics, thanks mom and dad, may be playing a role in your tendencies to eat late at night. The clock gene is in the limelight at the moment, and if you carry certain variants of this gene, then you'll most likely struggle with your circadian rhythms, which is your sleep-wake cycle, and you'll be predisposed to having higher levels of ghrelin, a hunger hormone, in the evening, which will probably impact your feeding behavior late at night. My patients love to uncover their genetic predispositions because it allows us to better predict their eating tendencies and to apply the necessary mindful techniques to overcome unhelpful habits. Also, we can take extra care in planning well-balanced meals high in fiber to help reduce those ghrelin levels at night. Here are your 3 tips for today. Reach for the low-hanging fruit first. Overcome late-night snacking tendencies before considering any form of drastic intermittent fasting. Finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime, before melatonin levels start to rise dramatically. And a disclaimer, if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, then please chat to your dietitian for personalized recommendations, as the above may not actually be applicable or safe for you to implement. If you'd like to engage with me, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below.